and that I've struggled with relationships, that I'm not good at them, that I don't feel ready for them, that I don't think I have like that part of ability to have that or to do that. And of course, I hope I've gotten the point across that I am, of course, changing and reevaluating and trying to do something about it, because the idea of just doing everything alone is just pretty daunting. Not just from a financial perspective, but just from a like just in everything kind of perspective. I mean, you always have friends, but that's the thing about friends is they usually get to family or something, and the whole everything alone all the time. Like, that's doing everything 100% by myself all the time and trying to save money for like retirement. I'm turning 35, and I have to I have to work 30 more years and retire. That's how life works. Uh, anyway, so one one thing about how I got to this point where I'm like fucking incapable of like forming attachments is I think it's partially because of the people that I have in the past been attracted to are not right for me. Not in a way like, not in a like they're a piece of shit kind of way, because I don't believe that at all. Just in a too much like me kind of a thing. You know what I mean? For example, I tend to brood a lot. If I get, if I get any kind of emotions that I'm not sure exactly what to do with, or I see it like I see something that I'm not 100% sure about, and it causes me some kind of like grief or indecisiveness or emotional confusion, then I will tend to withdraw and brood and avoid and that sort of thing. And uh, when you have two people who do the exact same, who have the same exact modality when it comes to any kind of conflict or struggle, it's probably not going to work. Like, I cannot, as much as I love the sort of, as much as I have in the past been very attracted to that sort of broody, mysterious kind of care. Well, first of all, I think I've done pretty well to remove the mystery from myself, which is something when I was younger. I think it was a bit of like a shield for me, like oh, I'm so mysterious. How can you not like me if you don't even know? You don't know me. But I'm a bit more of a goofball kind of person now, so at least on occasions, of course I'm serious sometimes, but I can be kind of goofy and stupid and carefree, and I've changed a lot, basically. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to like lose my broody, moody, loner, pushing away, avoidy, kind of strategy or coping mechanism, whatever you call it. It does mean that I'm aware that there are other there are probably better ways for me to handle that sort of thing. Um, and but I what I'm saying is I think I realize now what isn't gonna work for me, even if I am very attracted to something, or someone more accurately, or a certain trait, like like a sensitive soul, for example, a very sensitive kind of person. I think I am attracted to it, but I also kind of it's I'm sensitive, but I'm also selfish. So I'm sensitive. So if my feelings get hurt because I'm selfish and sensitive, then that can be toxic, because like if I get hurt, which I do because I'm sensitive, I will do something that's sort of maladaptive and probably fuck up whatever's going on. So there's certain things that I in the past that you relate to people on different kinds of levels, and you may bond with people over a sort of shared that sort of shared outlook, or shared struggle, shared perspective, but I think in the past, because I haven't really pushed myself to get close to people, that those moments of relating to someone and feeling that mutual sort of appreciation for something, or having that same kind of feeling that I can relate to, and understanding of how someone maybe behaves because it's in a similar way to me. I think in the past it was confusing to me because I'm attracted to it, but it's also not at all really. There's like, you need a complementary person. Like for me, I think I need someone who's kind of more stable emotionally, and probably more of a sort of a happier kind of a person, or maybe a little bit of a go-getter, an optimist, someone who can kind of like keep me from being so fucking down in the dumps, because I can tend to. I think it's a lot easier for me to see things as they are whenever I'm not having my own cynicism and pessimism like reinforced by someone who's like exactly like me. You know what I mean? And it's kind of actually. I'm probably gonna get off here in a minute, but this does remind me. I was hanging out with my friends the other night, and this is the first time in years and years and years that, one of my friends called me a realist rather than a pessimist. And she was calling herself a pessimist and called my other friend the optimist, and I was the realist, which is, it was amazing for me to feel that, because in the past I kind of felt like pessimism and cynicism and realism were like the same picture, pretty much the same. But people outside of me who know me very well have sort of given me a small bit of evidence that like maybe I'm not quite as 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 much of a negative black hole as I was, maybe like a negative black hole of depression, which makes sense because I don't really feel depressed, and I haven't felt depressed in, well, since I stopped taking my antidepressants. Oh, sadly enough, but even before I took those, like, I was just years and years of depression. Like, years. Years. And, it's good. Like, for me, even though I'm not woo, happy, you know? But, not being depressed, it's a wonderful relief to me, and, it's fine, and, relationships are confusing, love is confusing, life is hard, I haven't figured my shit out, there's shit that's I'm still working on here, but, that doesn't mean that I necessarily have to hold myself back for any particular thing or wait for some particular thing. I'm just at a spot where I'm kind of like, I'm the kind of person, there's some people, you go to the water's edge, right? And some people just jump right in feet first and they don't really care, you know? And that's great. You know, I'm a kind of, like, I will dip my toe in, and it will feel cold, and then I will, like, reconsider, and then I'll, like, go away from the water, and sort of compare, like, how cold it was to maybe, like, how cold it is over here, and do I really want to go in the water? Like, do I really want to dip my toe into it again? And not only do I want to dip my toe in, but do I want to, like, put my feet in the water? You know, do I? Not usually. It's usually more of a, something like, I know that I'm being ridiculous, so I basically sort of make myself do something, but there's still that hesitation and uncertainty and that's sort of, I guess, fear, really? Fear of getting hurt, or fear of getting somehow ending up in some kind of horrible situation, or somehow getting worse or something, even though for the most part whenever I do branch outside of that comfort zone and push myself to, say, maybe not jump feet first into something, but when I do push myself to, like, not pull away and hesitate and go back and forth, and I actually do something, it usually ends up being good for me, but, you know, my life hasn't necessarily been easy. Just because I push myself and have some new experiences, maybe meet some new people, make a few friends, get a new hobby, you know, I'm under no illusion that means I'm going to be happy forever, or even for long, because I've spent so long being unhappy, so I feel like it's so sad to think about going back to that, you know? So it's kind of like, I always feel like if I fuck up, I'm gonna go back into that, even though, I mean, I think that in reality, the things that I think are protecting me, like staying in the same predictable environment and doing the same predictable things, And that sort of thing is kind of why I did get depressed, probably because, that it's kind of boring. I mean, it's kind of boring, and it's the one thing that, I try not to get bored with shit. Even if it's boring, I find happiness in small things and learn to laugh at myself and others. But, it's boring. You can't. Life, it kind of shits on you, and then you don't want to go back out there. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that there was a time where I really wanted the whole shebang. I mean, not necessarily what I'm talking about now, but I wanted to go travel, I wanted to go exploring. Like, I wanted all this stuff, and I felt like nothing could stop me. I had no fear of anything. I didn't have all this shit that's kind of gone wrong for me and made me like reconsider things and worry more and have more like guilt and regret than I ever did before, even though I luckily the guilt and regret, if I was still living with that, be difficult for me to say I'm not depressed. I'm not living with that guilt and like regret necessarily at this precise moment, but I still have the shit in my head, that the knowledge of where I fucked up and how I fucked up, and that it's not that hard to fuck shit up. I think that in the past, when I was younger, I thought it was hard to fuck your life up. I guess I thought that, once I started getting my own money and I had my own transportation and I had a few friends and whatnot, and I guess I thought maybe it was hard to fuck your life up too much, but it's actually really easy. So, and not necessarily fuck your entire life up, because I don't feel that I've done that. But, for example, getting involved in shit that I shouldn't be involved in, or being passive when I should go for it, these kind of things, as far as being aware of the things that I've screwed up on, and therefore, like, understanding that just because I want something to go well, and just because I do the bare minimum to ensure my own safety and well-being, that's not enough. It's the bare minimum is not enough. And so, which is kind of, I mean, it's kind of what I've been used to a lot since this whole depression thing is just like, but even then, whenever, like, I was considered high performance or whatever and even like passing tests or doing well at my job, like, the shit just doesn't really make you happy. It's not enough. Like, it's not enough just to say, oh, I'm going to have a good life because I'm good at my job and I pass tests. Therefore, I will be successful and someone will hire me. It's not that simple. It never was that simple. And, I'm basically playing like a whole new game because now I'm aware that I have to play. I think a lot of people who are similar to me, who really hate, like, a lot of formality and red tape and bullshit and half-truths, societal rules, and sort of emphasis on social status and money and possessions and sort of connections and all that. I think that I've shunned all of that for so long. And it's really caused me a lot of fucking suffering. So now I know that I have to. I have to play by the same rules that everyone else is using. I have to. I'm not gonna say I have to kiss someone's ass or something, but I can't necessarily go into my next job and like fucking give the CEO double middle fingers and go out and smoke a cigarette or something. I'm gonna have to do a little better. Anyway, so I think that'll be it for tonight, and have a good night.